Men, please, talk to us. My brothers, talk to us and tell us what we doing. I want to know. I want to listen. I listen. Tell me so I can tell the rest of us. So I can tell my sisters what we need to fix. If you don't talk to us, how are we going to know? I need you to really be genuine about it. Just take some time to think about it and reply to this. I want to know, what can we do to fix this?
All right, so this is really interesting. There's actually two pieces back to back which I wanted to make this video about. So the first is a article by Mark McDonald, MD. So he's a medical doctor. No one wants to play with a porcupine. Why American women are undateable. I don't even want to go on any dates anymore. They just feel like a chore. I heard this from my 24-year-old male patient this week. I hear it frequently from men everywhere. I hear it in bars, at professional conferences, over coffee at lunch. I hear it because American women have become undateable. American women today suffer from a combination of emotional and characterologic pathology that renders them unfit to be romantic partners to men. On the emotional side, they are angry, anxious, and dysregulated. Men find them exhausting and not at all fun to be around. In addition to their unpleasant emotions, men must also contend with their toxic personality traits, narcissism, ingratitude, and an overbearing and judgmental attitude that appears to be constant. American women approach dating as a fact and fault-finding mission, with a degree of arrogance that can only come from a profound absence of self-awareness. They have no idea what their role is in the encounter or how to properly support the man who is leading the date. They act as saboteurs rather than facilitators. Most men have tired of this. Certainly, the feelings of men play their own role in the dating disaster of today's America. I have written about these failings extensively here in my first book, United States of Fear. Masculinity is in decline in the West. Without it, dating cannot be successful. Strength, courage, mastery, and honor are the essential traits of masculinity, according to Jack Donovan, author of The Way of Men. And few men display those traits today. Yet equally, few women display the essential traits of femininity either. Donovan explains that to find a woman desirable, a man requires nothing more than for her to be pretty, carefree, and charming. Today's American woman cannot even meet that expectation. Yeah, well, they've got nose rings with boogers and snot in them. Kevin Samuels said fit, feminine, friendly, right? He said if you're fit, feminine, and friendly, chances are you'll be high enough on the 0 to 10, which there are no 10s. It should be 0 to 9 rating scale. If you're fit, feminine, friendly, you might at least be a 7 if you're lucky. Maybe an 8. If you're like a model or something, maybe you're a 9. But keep in mind, there are no 10s. None of them are perfect. So let's not pedestalize anybody. But that's just the reality of the situation here. I went to dinner recently at a restaurant in Westwood near the UCLA campus. Every customer appeared to be a university student. I noticed a group of girls walk past me as they got up from their table. They all looked and dressed alike: oversized t-shirts, baggy jeans, non-styled hair, no makeup. They appeared to be poorly dressed boys. I turned to the woman I was with and commented, "They don't look attractive at all." She replied, "That's the current style. I don't think they're trying to look attractive." Observing the rest of the young women around me, I saw that she was right. Most of the others resembled them. Appearance, though, is not the only way in which American women are not trying to be attractive. The typical American woman today projects limitless entitlement, ruthless competitiveness, and advanced emotional incontinence that makes it all but impossible for a man to tolerate her, much less enjoy her company. A recent Instagram video that went viral showed a French man walking the streets of Los Angeles explaining how he had just walked out on his first date at a restaurant with a local woman after observing that her lengthy food restrictions and preferences eliminated nearly every option on the menu. Au revoir, Jennifer, he concluded. I saw that video. I don't remember if I stitched it, but I actually saw that video. An American woman living in Russia posted a thread of complaints on social media after failing to get to a second date with any local man after 6 months in Moscow. Well, my thing is, they ain't got time to date you. They're busy blowing up Ukraine. So after they finish with Ukraine, maybe if you're lucky, they'll have a chance to date you. So anyway, one man told me at the end of the first date that I wasn't attractive enough for him to go out with the second time. Damn, those Russian guys, man, they're brutal. I reminded him that I earned more money than him. I don't think he cared. It says, yeah, I reminded him I earn more money than him and I have a better apartment, an apartment that I pay for with my own income. Additional comments made it clear that she was entirely unaware of the expectations of local men regarding both feminine dress and body habitus, and that Russian men couldn't care less what she makes or how nice her apartment is. They want a pretty, charming, carefree woman and aren't hesitant to say to her face. American men want the same thing but don't have the clarity of mind or the courage to say so. They have become pussified. Now, this is an MD saying you're pussified. Who said that before? I think it was John Littleton or Singleton and in Boomerang. He says, don't get pussified, whip that butcher. Bang, 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 bang. Yeah, so anyway, okay. I believe the root cause of this problem in American women is environmental. I absolutely believe that partially too. It is a problem of bad values. Women in this country have been taught that looks don't matter, that careers are more important than family, that men are either dangerous or weak and incapable, and that the world would be a better place if only women were in charge. And that ain't never gonna happen. Everything they are taught is wrong. Everything they are taught is a lie. And the fault lies with schools, media, feminism, and parents. These institutions and individuals have corrupted their minds, their emotions, and their characters. They have trained women to live in a fantasy world of us versus them. War. We are right. That's what it's called. Where the me is more important than the we, where one's feelings dictate truth and goodness and even virtue itself. These toxic teachings have rendered women developmentally arrested and incapable of adult partnerships with men. This tragedy harms not only men but women. Men need women, but so do women need men, despite what feminism has taught. American men today have largely decided they would simply rather be alone than continue to feel battered and exhausted by an unending stream of bad dates with unpleasant women. No healthy person wants to play with a porcupine. Mark McDonald, MD, psychiatrist and author of United States of Fear, How America Fell Victim to a Mass Delusional Psychosis, and Freedom from Fear, a 12-step guide to personal and national recovery. So, that's the first story. Now, you can obviously say what you think in the comment section, but this right here, this shit right here deserves a Pulitzer or whatever they want to give him. He's 100% right. And I want you to notice that this was published December 22nd, 2022. Nobody in the mass media paid any attention. They probably don't even know it exists. You didn't hear about it until you heard about it from me, chances are, unless some other channel may have covered it somewhere on YouTube. You're not going to hear The View talking about it. When they talk about men, they'll only talk about them in the pejorative. Oh, we just got stats that said that fewer men are signing up to go to college or fewer men are taking women on dates. What do you think about that, Whoopi? You know, that's the problem right there. The problem right there is that, well, basically, I mean, the story, this article basically said it all. The media is lying. These schools are lying. And where do you go from there? If you're, see, this is the thing, because the funny thing about it is a lot of these women, they come on these channels so that they control. But the reality is there's a reason why men are getting their passports, especially black men, because those are the ones I'm mainly concerned with. But there's a reason why they're getting their passports. It's because of the indoctrination. We are being indoctrinated. I was watching The Last of Us Sunday. It was a new episode. And here I am watching this show. I'm just tuning in because I want to see some zombie fungus killing people and I want to see people trying to run from the zombie fungus and killing other people. That's what I tuned in to see. Meanwhile, I turned into this channel, and all of a sudden, it's Brokeback Mountain. It's like, listen, I tuned in because I wanted to see some zombie fungus killing people. That's what I tuned in for. What you did was you did a bait and switch, and you put, I don't even remember their names, but we'll call them Adam and Steve. Adam and Steve doing the Brokeback Mountain. And it's like, why are you showing me this? First of all, I understand it may have been in the video game, but it wasn't very, how should I say, it wasn't a major part of the game. Like, for instance, when I turn on my game, in fact, I was playing Mega Man 8 a little while ago. I tuned into Mega Man 8 so that I could use the Mega Buster, shoot things, kill things, blow shit up. That's what I tuned in for. I don't know what Mega Man's sexual status is. I don't know what Mega Man's gender identity is, nor do I care. I didn't tune in to see Roll, his sister, trying to show him how much money she's making or who she's dating. I didn't tune in for any of that shit. I tuned in to blow up robot crabs and to shoot things. That's what I tuned in for. Why are you trying to indoctrinate children? Why are you trying to indoctrinate people? Because first of all, I think you've probably figured it out. Like, if you're older than 30, chances are nothing they show you is going to change your mind about anything. So what they're doing is they're going after a younger audience and they're forcing this stuff on them. But the bottom line is, it's like when you're talking about the indoctrination that goes on in these schools, it's mind-blowing. And the mind-blowing sadness of it is they're catching people early on. They're convincing people of a false reality. And they are sending these people. See, you got to understand the whole point of a school is for you to teach people in order to be able to survive on their own. What they're doing is they're sending these people out into the world ill-prepared to deal with real people who are out in the world. Real people ain't tolerating your bullshit. It's just like with these cops. It's like in these schools, you can't, the teachers can't do anything to stop these kids from doing what they're doing. If a kid decides that, yeah, he feels like standing on a chair and screaming and this, that, and other, the teacher can't touch him. He can stand right on that chair and scream all he wants, right up until they get school safety to come in. So that basically tells you that the teachers have no control of the classroom, or whatever control that they do have is an illusion. All it takes is one person to test those limits, and the whole thing falls apart. Well, that's exactly what happens when you indoctrinate people in these schools and then you send them out into the real world. When they go out into the real world and they try that bullshit, excuse me, could you stop talking while we're on the train? You're offending me. Let me tell you something. That real person who's not playing with your bullshit is going to turn and look at you and like, what the fuck did you just say to me? And then next thing you know, you're a YouTube video and you're either getting your ass whipped on a train or thrown in front of it or shot or stabbed or whatever it is. The real people out there ain't tolerating this bullshit because most of them haven't received the same training. More and more of them are choosing not to even go to these schools, so they're not being indoctrinated. And then you've got these other countries where they don't tolerate any of this bullshit at all. These other countries, they'll tell you real quick, no, it ain't. and that's it. And then God knows where shit goes after that. So this is the reality, guys. Just this guy, Mr. Mark McDonald, Dr. MD, he nailed it. Nailed it. He's got the clinical diagnosis and all that. He's got the special language and everything. He nailed it. This is the first article, and this is the reality. The reason why these men are going overseas and getting their passports is because when they go overseas, they're meeting women who are indoctrinated to be wives. That's the difference. Instead of indoctrinating you to not know what your gender is, instead of indoctrinating you to not know which bathroom to use, instead of indoctrinating you to compete with men, which obviously you can't, instead of indoctrinating you to try to basically dominate a household on your own, creating more and more single moms, single households. No, overseas, these women, especially in these countries that, I've been showcasing, They are indoctrinated to be wives. There's a huge difference. They are helping. They are not competing with you. They're helping you as a man. And, oh, yeah, well, you just going over there so you can get slaves. Oh, you just going over there so you can get a secretary. Oh, you just going over there so you can get a servant. Oh, you just going over there so you can get, you're a transport bro. That's what you are. You're a transport bro. You're trying to transport women. It's like the stupidity on freaking, let me tell you something. Right now, Congress is getting ready. I don't know what's prompting it because it looks like we're going out like all out economic warfare with China. But Congress is getting ready to ban TikTok. All of these strags that are on TikTok with these stupid ass anti-passport bro comments, they're all about to disappear because if they really ban TikTok off of American servers, all that shit is dead. Honestly, I'll be a little disappointed because I think I have like 16 followers on TikTok because I'm not active on it. But the bottom line is what did Spock say? He's like the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. Well, that's basically what we're coming down to because they're about to ban this shit. Like they're about to lock down these servers. They're about to shut down these servers. They're about to ban it altogether. So the reality is all of this nonsense that we're hearing is probably going to come to an end soon. So it looks like we're going to run out of content, at least with the anti-passport bros comments are concerned. But yeah, that's basically what it is. It's like this guy nailed it. Mark McDonald, MD, he nailed it. And let's go to the next article, the counter argument. The worst part about going to a foreign country is not knowing what to do, not knowing where to have fun, not having any guides, not having anyone to be with, being lonely, not knowing what to do from day to day. One of the worst things you can ever feel in a foreign country is loneliness. Sometimes you go to a foreign country, you don't have friends who've gone with you. Maybe you're an expatriate. Maybe you're a worker in a foreign country. Perhaps you're in Vietnam. Perhaps you go to Vietnam, outsourced by your IT company, and you don't know what to do or who to meet. Well, Vietnamese Wingman or VietnamWingman.com is here to help you. If you're looking for friends, language partners, relationships, marriage, Vietnamese Wingman, VietnamWingman.com is here to help you to have a great time in Vietnam, meet somebody, meet a friend, meet a woman, meet a wife. They are here to help you do that. So check out Vietnam Wingman and enjoy the rest of the story. Okay, so here we have a counterpoint. This one is by Oceania Tepfen Hart. Oceania Tepfen Hart. I have no idea where that name's from. But anyway, American women are undateable, he said. Men are increasingly going abroad to find wives, but are they doing this the right way? Okay, lately I've been seeing a lot of stuff about how awful us American women are. Apparently we're not feminine enough and we're too demanding. I've heard that feminism ruined us all and that we don't take care of men the way women in other countries do. Because American women don't have to be financially tied to a man, their standards now include things like respecting their boundaries, having basic hygiene, not forcing them to stay in the house, seeing them as a partner, or hell, seeing them as a person. Wait, what? Because American women don't have to be financially tied to a man. Their standards now. Okay, it sounds like somebody's being facetious or whatever. That's where the corollary comes. The praise of women outside the United States. Bullet point 1, Asian women are so submissive and sweet. They know how to take care of a man. Eastern European women are so pretty. American women don't maintain themselves that way. I'm going to Brazil. The women there cook for you, clean for you, and don't talk back. As someone whose mother is from one of the countries these guys target, I feel like I have a lot to say about the topic. Some of it's obvious, other parts might shock everyone. This type of rant and that type of move have a tendency of attracting a certain type of man. It's not a good type, and they're often playing themselves, but it's not all the same type of dude. Here's what these men don't realize about the way they look at to others and why they might get in over their head. The fact that these guys write off all the women in a country is alarming, to say the least. One of the reasons why women started demanding more of men here is because we fought hard to be liberated from men who treated us horribly. We no longer have to stay in horrible relationships when we get beaten. Nobody's talking about beating anybody here. We no longer have to tolerate verbal abuse, coercion, or marital rape. You see, they take it straight to this fucking... Well, they take it straight to the color purple on you. On all of you. It's not even just about black men anymore. It's white men too. They take it all the way to the color purple on you. They color purpleized America. We can now walk away in search of relationships that are healthy for both parties. Okay, here's my question. Where are you walking to? According to the stats, women are going to be single and childless by majority by 2030. Now, even if I gave you 5 more years and said 2035, I'd like to know who are you going to, because the dudes who you'd be planning to walk to, they're going overseas by getting their passports. We're going to see to it that they get their passports. I'll make 100 videos about Vietnam wingman. I'll make 1,000 videos if I have to. We're not allowing men to get bad deals anymore. We're just not. We're letting them know that there's more greener pastures out there, but I'll wait for that. I'll continue. Okay, the women in the countries these men go to often do not have the means to support themselves, either due to laws, sex discrimination, or dire lack of education. They often are sent out with the expectation that they'll marry a foreigner and send money back home for the rest of the family. Yeah, the arrangement gets very exploitive very quick. No. Most women in the United States are well aware of how bad this looks and what it means for the men doing this. If they disparage American women for having standards, it often means that they aren't going to treat women well. They're looking for a woman who can't run away. I've said this a million times. Men are hunter-gatherers. Men go out, they hunt, they gather, they bring stuff back to where they live. That's what men are programmed to do. We evolved from a hunter-gatherer culture. Unfortunately, the one thing that a man has to worry about just deciding one day that it's just going to leave and taking half your shit with it when it leaves is a woman. Men aren't interested in starting over. Men aren't here's the thing. It's one thing if, let's say, you, for whatever reason, things didn't work out, and you divorce and then the person just leaves. It's a total another thing for them to take half your shit with them. That is where I think the main problem lies. And that's why a lot of men are waking up. And they're basically saying, you know what? I'm not getting married, especially in this country. Because, you see, again, it's like if you have a pet dog or a pet cat, chances are if you have a pet dog or a pet cat, that cat or that dog is going to stay with you because that dog or cat expects you to take care of it, feed it, give it water, and protect it from the cold. When it's like 0 or negative 18 degrees out there. But if that dog or cat ever decides to run away, which doesn't happen, that dog or cat is not taking half your shit with it. And that's the bottom line. See, people don't phrase things the way I phrase them. But the way I phrase them, I think it tells the story a little bit more honestly. Men don't want to have to worry about losing half their shit, or having to be financially ruined, or having to start over just because somebody decided they ain't in love no more and they want to up and leave. I do remember that the wedding vows said something about for sicker for health, richer for poor, till death do us part. I think it said something about that. Yeah, well, when certain people get married, they take it seriously. Okay, anyway. Well, I'll point this out. If they think American women are so disgusting and that foreign women can do no wrong, it's only a matter of time before their foreign wives topple off the pedestal they are placed on. How many times have I said this? These women do not want you leaving because obviously you're taking resources away from them, for one. But the main thing that I think bothers them more than anything is that you are pedestalizing a foreign woman. You're putting that foreign woman above this American woman. Because you got to remember, the reality is men are better at saving money. Men are better at avoiding debt because, like, even right now, they're talking about all these men who are choosing not to go to college. And more, you're seeing the statistics showing men who don't go to college and who choose to go right into the workforce and work vocational jobs. If they're stable on those jobs, like if they're working in trucking or transportation with trains or building bridges or something like that, chances are they're going to very quickly, within the next 10 years of their life, between 25 35, they're going to hit their career strides and they're going to be making big money doing what they're doing. They know that the job that they have isn't going to last forever, so they start saving their money and they start saving as much of it as they can. And the reality is, men who are doing it like that, they don't end up deep in debt like women who go to these colleges and universities who end up graduating with 30 or 40 or even $100 or $200,000 worth of debt. And then now they have to figure out how they're going to pay it back using their degree. So the reality is, when these men say, you know what, I'm going to get my passport, go to Vietnam, and I'm going to use Vietnam Wingman to help me find a Vietnamese wife. Well, when they get that woman, what's going to end up happening is she's going to step in to a wealthy man and she's going to basically be above that American woman who's deep in debt, whether she has a house or not. And see, that's another thing. See, I hate to digress, but I'm dealing with so many variables. The Federal Reserve raised interest rates again today by 0.25. Every time the Federal Reserve raises rates, that means that all of your adjustable credit or all of your adjustable debt that has an interest rate attached to it, it gets harder, a little bit harder to pay that debt. So if you're holding credit card debt, yeah, well, it just got harder for you to make that monthly payment because your monthly payment just went up. If you have an adjustable rate mortgage on anything, it just got a little bit harder to pay that. Now, what's interesting is the Federal Reserve continues to raise rates. Biden continues to try to pause student loans indefinitely. Right now, I believe the student loans are paused till August. It's not men that are worried about those student loans. It's women. And those women hold so much debt. They know, if they're listening to the sound of my voice, they know exactly how much debt they got. They writing letters, they getting on their knees, they're praying, they're lighting incense and candles. They praying like Buddhists to Biden, trying to get that debt canceled. They're praying to Joe Biden more than they're praying to Jesus right now. And that's the reality. Every time you hear of them, oh yeah, I heard that Joe Biden gonna cancel some student loan debt. Uh-huh. Yeah, he's been promising that for a long time, but a lot of that debt he can't even touch. And not only that, the Republicans got into office and they got into the House and they basically said, oh, no, you're not. And there's no more Democrat rubber stamps. There's no more. And then we're deep in debt with $31 trillion deep in debt. And they still haven't canceled that $1.7 trillion. So the reality is, you know what it is. It's like I've said it a billion times. The reality is it's really going to be tough come 2030 when these women are single and childless and they can't even count on a sperm bank to give them the sperm they want so that they can have children that look like them. That's how tough it is, according to the statistics. So anyway, well, I'll point this out. If they think American women are so disgusting and that foreign women can do no wrong, it's only a matter of time before these foreign wives topple off the pedestal they are placed on. What guys like that want is often not a human, but a sex doll that also cooks. The type of men who don't view women as people and paint them with a wide brush are going to be fucked over. Oh shit, she got angry quick. Do you see this? This was supposed to be a simple fucking reply, and she got angry immediately. She's, you know what this is? This is like when you're typing and you hit that caps lock button and you start banging away at your keyboard and you're like, you motherfucker. I showed him. Yep, that's right. I'll get into that later, she says. She's getting angry. She's just typing and she's getting angry. Damn. I want to point out that a lot of guys who do the mail order or foreign marriage thing tend to be a specific flavor of men. For all the crowing about American women being gold diggers, these guys don't realize what it means to be the head of the household. Most women from these countries will demand that their husbands earn all the money and that in exchange for the house being clean, them cooking and occasional sex. Many of them expect marriage to be a contractual thing that way. The majority of women that target won't bother with them if they're financially unstable. Truthfully, most also won't tolerate a man who doesn't lift a finger at the home either. I'm questioning, where is she getting all of this from? That's what I'm wondering. But wait, most of these guys also don't realize something else. You know how guys rage about American women and their feminisms? The women coming to America also are ready to reach out to the local communities here and will quickly learn what rights they have. Now, this is exactly what Eddie Murphy told you in, I believe it was Raw. Eddie Murphy says, Umfufu, as soon as Umfufu gets around these American women, oh, you don't have to cook and clean. You don't have to have sex with him when he wants it. You have human rights. You can do what you want. And then Umfufu goes home angry. Eddie, I want to talk to you. You treat me like animal. I want half, Eddie. Like if you don't know what I'm talking about, then you need to type in Umfufu, Umfufu, Eddie Murphy. Just type in those 3 words, and you need to watch Eddie Murphy Delirious, and you need to watch Eddie Murphy Raw if you don't know what I'm talking about. Because chances are there might be young people listening to this who weren't born in the 80s. I thank God that I was born in the 80s, because if I was born in the 90s, chances are I might not still be alive, because when they tried to indoctrinate me, I might have offed myself. But fortunately, I was born in the 80s. So I got to be the last good generation before America literally lost its goddamn mind somewhere around 88 to 90. So anyway, Eddie, I want half. So wait, where are we? In other words, if you were hoping to treat your bride like a slave, that shit won't fly. She can and will divorce you. And you better believe that she will find a way to contact the consulate to get help leaving. Eddie, I want to talk to you. You treat me like animal. Have you ever heard an Eastern European woman lose her temper? God damn, fucking run for the hills if you do. I speak as a Romanian. We shout, screech, and throw things when irate enough. Seriously, we can be fucking scary. This woman is a Romanian and she's talking all this shit. But anyway, or maybe that's just me and my mom. Either way, I digress. Now, I just want you to think about something. I just read for you Dr. McDonald's assessment. Did he not say that these women are emotionally unstable or irate? Did he not just say that? Because I could swear he just said that. All right. Most of the women from these countries filled with feminine ladies are actually pretty damn tough dames. They won't back down. They rule the roost with an iron fist. And oh yeah, they don't put up with bullshit. I'm woman, hear me roar. Okay. Also, saying you want a woman of a certain race or nationality because they're submissive is creepy and gross as fuck. But I digress. I can't believe somebody is writing this. Like, you see, listen. You saw it first. I was reading this from beginning to end, and you saw what happened to the tone. The tone became psychotic as you go on. You saw this yourself. Okay? If you're stupid enough to try to buy a wife, you're going to get fucked over. Okay, so this is definitely a thing in Eastern Europe, but it can happen in many other countries too. A lot of these guys hit on foreign women by saying something along the following: "Oh wow, a Romanian woman. You know, I make 200,000 a year. American women are horrible. Would you want to be my wife? I could give you a nice lifestyle." This must have been Andrew Tate she was talking about because she's from Romania anyway. But anyway, well, I'll say this much. If all you can offer is money, you shouldn't be surprised when she comes stateside, divorces you, asks for alimony, and goes off to find somebody she's actually attracted to. Money ain't enough, fuckwads. Now, do you see that? You see what I'm reading what she wrote. Keep this in mind. She went from like level 1 to level 11. And it didn't even take that many paragraphs. What did Dr. McDonald just say? Emotionally unstable. Didn't he just say that? He said, irate, emotionally unstable. Didn't he just say that? All right. So far, I've seen this happen about half a dozen times in the circles I've gone through. Without fail, it always is a guy who flashes cash, glamorizes himself, and then chooses a poor village girl who's hot but has nothing else in common with him. He then treats her like a trophy wife. He may put her to work cooking and cleaning. He may boast to his friends about her providing sex too. If she's extremely unlucky, he may also beat her. Where the fuck did this beating shit come from? Where did this? It's like they went straight to The Color Purple. They went straight, like, this is some Borat nonsense. But then, Borat was from, what country was Borat from? He was from, not Uzbekistan. Kazakhstan, right? Like that. Like, what is this? What is this nonsense about beating people? Oh, Jesus. Unsurprisingly, this never works out well for the guy. Depending on how smart she is, the girl can easily end up draining the dude's bank account and ruin his life. I've seen one woman convince her spouse to adopt her kid, only to go around cheat and demand child support. He's divorced now, owed $2,500 a month on supporting a kid he barely knew. I've heard of older white guys who killed themselves in Thailand after their first mail-order wives spent all their retirement money and then left them. Then they suddenly can't find a new wife and they realize that, oh fuck, they're left with nothing. For the life of me, I'll never understand why these guys are shocked when their wives leave. Okay. A friend of mine is originally from the Philippines. You should see the rage on his face when a white guy talks about going to his country to pick up a wife. Okay, so now you're talking about your Filipino male friend and how he's upset that he can't compete with these guys who are going to the Philippines to get wives. Well, what you should ask your Filipino friend is, number one, why are you worried about it if you're not married to these other women? And number two, well, I guess, why are you worried about it? Like, if you were competitive, then you'd have been with her already and married to her. So why are you worried about it? I've heard him straight up say these men are a cancer on our people. Nah. I think you've got much, much more to worry about. I've been to the Philippines. I think you have much, much more to worry about than men actually coming and giving your women a leg up on life. First of all, the Philippines has a teen pregnancy epidemic problem. That's number one. Number two, you have a single mom epidemic problem. That's number two. But, it's funny. I've actually just saw there's a graph I could show that actually says that the majority of these children in America are actually living in single-parent households. Damn shame. In fact, I just posted in my community chat, too, with the URL link, just in case you have a chance to look. Okay, so anyway, trust me. Oh, and by the way, when it comes to the Philippines, you guys also need traffic lights because y'all don't have enough traffic lights. It's like by the way, you also need more electric generators, and I would also say you need more solar panels, because a lot of your areas go dark randomly. And not only that, your plumbing goes out when your electricity goes out because there's no pumps. Oh, by the way, you also have a sewage issue because like raw sewage gets out there and they have this thing called stink foot because if you walk through raw sewage, the bacteria gets into your feet and it can make you sick. Yeah, y'all have way more problems to worry about than some men coming to your country and picking up women. Okay, so anyway. Trust me, I get it. Most people know exactly what the type of guys who go abroad because American women are bad at doing, and they are often pretty abrasive about it too. That's not okay. Guys, if this sounds like you, imagine someone called your sister a fuck doll. Wow, this woman, damn, she went like straight to 11. You'll understand why we hate hearing about how meek we are. Many families are not okay with the things exploitive guys say about their relatives. There's a huge stigma there, and in a lot of cases, it's one that means you'll never be fully part of their family. Well, as far as I know, most Filipino families, if you're expressing interest in marrying the daughter of the family or one of the daughters of the family, oh, you absolutely are family. And one of the reasons why is because they expect you're basically now a breadwinner in the family. And they're expecting when she moves with you to wherever you are, that she's sending money back to. First of all, the parents treat some of their kids as if they're a retirement plan. Let's just be perfectly honest. A lot of Filipinos will tell you that. They have their own terms for that. I did a video a while ago talking about a Filipino term called pinaangkan, which means shoot and scoot. Their own men won't marry them. Their own men will have sex with them, get them pregnant, and then leave. And they won't, in many cases, take care of the children. So these women know that American men are looking for marriage. So they're getting something out of American men that they can't even get out of their own men because they have pinaangkan, shoot and scoot. I did a video about it a couple of weeks ago. So anyway, nope, not at all. I have the best example of this ever. My own parents. My mother married my dad because she loved him and he loved her. She also was ready to leave back to Romania if something happened because she had it pretty good there. If she had stayed in Romania, she would have had a plush job in the embassy and would have been among the country's elite. She loved my dad. She gave that fancy life up for my dad. My dad did everything in his power to make her happy, emotionally, financially, the works. And they stayed together happily until my dad died. My mom was right next to him when he died. Well, over 30 years later, how he cared for her is what made my dad a role model for me and my relationship. What? Jesus Christ. I also looked at their relationship and was like, wow, I really want that level of care for myself. Thank goodness that dad taught me that it goes both ways. I better try to be good to my partner. True love can be found abroad, but it's not going to be in the form of purchasing a wife. It's also not going to be in the form of exploiting women in dire poverty so that you can get your dick wet. Jesus Christ. Does she have to go to, between the color purple and going straight to 11 and 12, my God, Jesus. And this is a woman writing this shit. Now, you saw, I started off nice and calm, and then now this is where we are. Or get a live-in nurse. What most guys are doing. Yeah, that's not it. And no, their wives don't ever really love them. Side note, oddly enough, trying to do good things for my exes, Jesus Christ. This chick has oh my God. Guys, I hope y'all are reading this with me because obviously this chick got problems. For my exes often ended with me being accused of having ulterior motives or not really liking them. It makes me wonder how many of these guys just wrote off American women who genuinely loved them because of what other men told them American women do. Eesh. Jesus. So if you want to marry a foreign woman, don't be surprised when the woman wants the same things most American women want. Partnership, companionship, a family life, and being treated well by their spouse. I know, novel concept. Okay, so she's being facetious again. What many people don't get is that you can grow to love someone, especially if they treat you well. You don't have to fall in love in the traditional sense. That grow to love thing can also turn into attraction. That's where the difference is for most people in these arrangements. When you have one person who basically has to relearn everything and get used to be a totally different lifestyle and is legally bound to you, you're going to want to work it out more. That means you better step the fuck up. Jesus Christ, this woman. Getting stuck with someone is not likely in America unless there are very unusual circumstances. That means people don't really see the growing to love you thing as an option here. They often mistakenly see that as settling when it's not. Moreover, choosing the we're stuck now way is more of a risk than most people are willing to take. I definitely get it and would agree that it's not a smart move for most women here in the States. One of the other things I noticed is that men feel safer being vulnerable and romantic with women abroad. I don't quite understand why that is, but it does translate into them being a better partner than they'd be with an American citizen. Many foreign brides are treated very well by the guys who seek them out, better than they would have treated a woman of their own nationality. And to a point, that seems to make these guys humanize them more. If that's what makes a frog into a prince, so be it. I won't complain. Well, you've been complaining for like the last 30 minutes. All right. So anyway, when you're treated well and have to rely on them, you do become appreciative of your partner. Many arranged marriages and mail order marriages genuinely do work out into love because the men step up in a way they have never before. Believe it or not, that's usually why many of these foreign marriages end up pretty happy. So now you're admitting that many of these foreign women are happy in these marriages. Well, what happened to the beatings and the coercion and all this and all the color purple stuff? So is it all bad? Not quite. Your mileage may vary. A misogynistic exploiter will never quite get what he wants. A guy who has mental blocks against American women but wants to be a great husband might. Like with all things, it depends on the two people involved. The bottom line, love can happen in America or it can happen elsewhere. The same can be said for a happy, healthy family at the end of the day, and the things you need for it to work remain the same. Is this her? Is this right here her? I think this is her. Well, guys, apparently this, I believe it's talking about buy me a coffee. The answer is no, dear. I'm not buying you a coffee because I'm not a simp. I'm gonna save my money. I'm gonna go overseas. I'm gonna buy a foreign woman a coffee. That's what I'm gonna do. Yeah. So basically, I'm thinking that this is the one who wrote this, and my God, I'm amazed that I made it all the way through this psychosis of a article. I don't even know if I should call it an article. I think I should call it a diatribe. But my God, did you see it? It feels like I just jumped into a rabbit hole and I got chewed up and spit out on the other side. Like this is like diving into the mind of somebody who's not prepared for the Matrix right here. This is just bad. Jesus Christ. So Oceania Tepfin Heart. Okay, let's hit that button. Let's see what this says. I'm not following you, no. Continue on mobile web. Here we go. What else does Oceania talk about? White woman, black man. The abuser no one discusses. Jesus Christ. Like, what have I jumped into here? And she writes this stuff regularly, it looks like. Why is Tucker Carlson so butthurt about green M&Ms? Porn is the tech bubble that no one expected to pop. 5 sad but honest reasons why women are turning to single motherhood. Oh, here we go. No, I can't do this. I want to go to bed. I jumped into this and now I'm trying to jump out. I don't know. Maybe another day. Maybe another day, because this is some demented shit right here. Like you heard me read it. Some of this stuff's demented right here. Jesus Christ. What does this say about white women and black men? Who's abusing who? I have to know. Christian Obumflelly's murder is a cold warning to other men of color. Jesus. Recently, I found out that an Instagram influencer turned OnlyFans model by the name of Courtney Clemsey was arrested. First, I assumed it was because she got caught selling sex or selling drugs like normal people. She stabbed her boyfriend, Christian Toby Obumflelly, to death. When was this? I think I'd heard. Wait a minute. This is February 1st. Oh, so she just wrote this. As someone who dates and is married to people outside their race, I want to point out something here. I'm glad we live in an era where my marriage is legal. 70 years ago, my husband would not. Oh, so wait a minute. I think she's married. Wait a minute. Is she married to a black guy? I hope you're not. I hope she doesn't have any knives around because she worries me because she goes 0 to 100 real quick. Let's see if there's any more pictures here. Jesus Christ. It's like I got to pull myself out of me. I think that might be him. I don't know. Yeah, I got to pull myself out of this. I got to pull myself out of it. Yeah, that's her. Holy shit. Okay, yeah, I'm not buying no coffees. All right, yeah, this I got to get out of here. I got to get out of here because I feel like I jumped a little too deep into the matrix. Got to pull my mind out, and I got to jack out. Let me call Cypher to get me out of the matrix as quickly as possible because I think I dived a little too deep. Jesus. Now, you notice how Dr. McDonald was so perfect and professional, and you saw how quickly this went from 0 to 110. You saw that. You saw, my God. Whew, wow. This right here. This, what is it? Can we all admit that we live in a cyberpunk dystopia? Well, if that's what you believe. Okay, that's the article, December 31st. American women are undateable. Are we going to talk about how fucked 2000s makeover shows are, I guess? Is rage the new meth? My God. Okay, Cypher, one to beam out of the matrix, okay? Get me out of here.
So respectfully, I want to know what is the issue. And I want it to be fixed. Start with me. Please tell me how I can fix it. What I need to do. So I can let the rest of them know what we got to do.
It's too late to apologize. It's too late. I said it's too late to apologize. It's too late.
To be continued.